Hello, my name is Ilona. In my last Dutch video, I talked about Max and Lewis, about the World Championship Formula One. And I looked at it because I saw this as a Whitehead's programming. It was a very interesting race to see. Of course, a lot of things in sports with a lot of money involved, you usually are guaranteed that the black elite has something to do with that. The black hats, they do that to distract people, they corrupt people that way, they, with a lot of money involved. And usually the people that play or are part of that, they have to do certain things before they will get famous or will get where they are. So it's very interesting to understand that. Because Lewis is known for a lot of symbolisms. He has tattoo with very symbolic meanings, especially for the elite. He stands for certain things. You can really look that up if you're interested. Max, I'm not really sure. I saw a commercial he did about the wasp sting and recommending it. So I'm not going to look at each individual separately. It's about the race to me. Max also has the 33 number. 33 is in Freemason the highest, I think, how do you say that? The highest level you can reach, although I do believe there are more levels than that, but that's what they publicly announce, that the 33 level is the highest. And 33 is also a master number in numerology. So it's also a number of Jesus, if I'm not mistaken. So they really take anything good and they just switch it around. That's the elite for you. And interesting was that Lewis, from the start, had the lead. It was pretty a done deal. So Max could barely touch him or stay behind him, just couldn't reach him. So for the longest time, it was almost certain that he was going to win, that Lewis was going to win. So to me, that seemed like the black hats are winning. You could see in everything is happening their way. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, there was a crash by Latifi. And it's very interesting. He has 6 as his number. So the 3 plus 3 is 6. That's interesting enough. But also in the end, and I believe before he started the race, he was and is number 17 in the classifications of the World Championships. So that's interesting. So number 17 in the list crashed. And suddenly everything changed. Safety car was put in. They had to mix it around, get rid of the car, of course, get it off the track as soon as possible. And then Max managed to get behind Lewis and, took over pretty much in like the last round, at the last second pretty much. That's how I see things going as well. So it will seem like the Black Hats are winning. There's nothing, there's no hope. And then suddenly some kind of black swan event happens, a crash, who knows, but it happens. And then suddenly the white hats are taking over. And that's actually what I got from the card reading. That is, it's programming. You have to understand there are a lot of things fixed in sports. So it may seem like you're watching this game or this very interesting, there's things happening right now, but there is a lot of control about who's winning, why someone's winning. They've got all these agendas, and I do got from my card reading that pretty much their agendas are gone, also in sports. All these companies, the elite is losing money, they don't have it anymore, so they cannot maintain the level that they had, especially not in the sports sector. So I do believe that we'll be seeing more and more scandals, people resigning in sports. You can of course see it already in the politics and politicians resigning. We are really in the end, I think, of the, I'm not going to call it a movie, but we are in an end phase. I'm not sure how long this is going to last. It feels like it could happen every day, but it could take some time as well. It could take longer than we think. So keep that in mind. Live your life. It's very important that we do what is expected of us, and that's stepping into our authority. So don't just wait and sit around and be impatient and be fearful. Oh, it's going to happen. Are they finally going to show up? See what is going on in your life. take responsibility for that, take responsibility for your energy and work from that. This is not a time to just relax and just, well, we're just going to be safe now, so we'll just have to wait and see. No, it's very important we do our part, because that is important in changing the energy. If we're just going to wait around, we are not changing our energy. Actually, we are putting the waiting energy in the, we're manifesting the energy that we're waiting for something. And then we'll be waiting for something, because that will be reflected in our reality. We don't want that. We need to live now. How do we feel now? What's going on now? What can we embrace now? So that's very important that we do that. And if you're connected with your intuition, with God, and you feel like I want to do this, or I just want to start an initiative, or I want to, then do that. Just don't wait around, because that's going to be very exhausting. I am, of course, also at times exhausted by everything. We just had yesterday our ministers, or our, they're not ministers anymore. Of course, they fell, but now they're getting back. There's a new formation, I think, going on. And to be very honest, in the Netherlands, I'm not even the slightest bit interested. I'm not even sure what they actually announced yesterday for restrictions. It doesn't matter to me anymore. I know that we just have to hold on in that way, that we do what we're supposed to be doing, work with our energy, put our manifestations out there, put our energy out there, and just live our lives. And when it happens, it happens. Like in the race, it can suddenly happen. But you can't, no one was expecting that. That's the point. So don't wait around, so to speak. Feel what you need to do and do that. Watch out for yourself, watch your energy. That's very important. Now I'd like to take a look at Germany, the energy of Germany. There's a lot going on, especially with the wasp sting. So I'm just going to take a look what their energy is right now. This is the Three of Cups. That's the card above. The central card is the Two of Swords. That's interesting. This is the Knight of Wands. That's in the past. Underneath the Two of Swords, it's the King of Pentacles, and the future is the Two of Wands. So we have two cards. We have the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands, and these are the indecisive cards. This is that the people are still not very connected with their, the intuition. You can see that on this card behind. Usually water stands for feelings, emotions, intuition. And there are a lot of people still in Germany not willing to see what's going on. So they're keeping the blindfold on. But things are changing. The energies are changing there. So this is the energy of more and more people are connecting, are in a way waking up, or more, their vibration. They're raising their vibration. So there are people waking up. They're still, it may seem like, I think it's more like it will seem like a lot of people are still not waking up, are still just following and complying to what's been ordered. That is a bit the energy of the German in general, so to speak. Like every country does have, every population does have their own energy. And they do have the energy of following orders. So that doesn't mean that every German does. That's obviously nonsense. It's just a general feeling, or a general, energy a certain population has. Just like the Netherlands, the Dutch people do have this non-authoritarian attitude. We generally don't like authority. And we do have this, civil disobedience. We're pretty much known for not following any rules. So it's not that we go against them, we just don't follow them. So the government can follow, well, we have to do this, and then the Dutch be like, yeah, sure, and not doing any of it. That's a bit the Dutch attitude. But we have in the Netherlands a lot of people who are complying, but that's the general energy the Dutch have. And like the Germans, they are following orders. It's a general energy. Doesn't mean that every German is, but there are a lot of Germans waking up and refusing to follow any orders, just to be clear there. But there is a plan. still there's a plan going on. So I also have a feeling that it will seem like not a lot of people are waking up, but that there's also a lot of things going on the background. Yeah, there we got that one again. So maybe they're more waking up than we know or that we see. So everything that comes out in media, we shouldn't believe that. We have to really watch out with those articles, what's coming out, what is true, what isn't true. And that's like everywhere around the world with the media. A lot of things, a lot of fear mongering. They try to scare us. They try to force us to get the wasp sting. So a lot of things that are coming out are probably, how do you say that? Are not completely the truth. They've embellished it. I think that's the term. I'm not sure, but it's like they've put it a bit out of proportion. And the King of Pentacles is a plan that's being rolled out. So it's really being rolled out there as well. And in the coming, how do you say that, the coming weeks probably, it will seem like nothing's really happening. But like I said, I do believe that things are happening, but more on the background. And there we have the Queen of Wands. So to me, the Whiteheads are pretty much taken over the country, but we won't see it yet. So in Germany, things can still look almost just like Lewis, like the Blackheads are winning the race, like the elites are in control. It will seem that way, but the Whiteheads will come in at a certain point in time. Like I said, I'm not going to mention dates or when this is going to happen, because it's very important that we need to do our share and not just wait for them to show up. I also want to look at Spain. I got a message, someone living in Alicante, and she mentioned that they are starting with the wasp stings for children. I think it's starting today in that region. So I'm just going to take a look at what's going on there. This is the Seven of Pentacles. This is the central card. That is the Three of Wands. This is the Magicians in the past. Underneath the Three of Wands, the Nine of Swords. And this is the future, the King of Wands. That's interesting. So right now we just have to wait and see what is going on. And these are both cards of wait and see. There's more patience with this card. But this card is also about just seeing what's going to happen, what's going on. So in Spain, the energy is to kind of just wait and see how things move along, what's going on there. So the people in Spain do have a tendency of just kind of just seeing at this moment in their energy, seeing what's happening. But there is a lot of stress. There's a lot of stress in the population. So they could be following orders from this big fear that they're feeling inside and maybe just complying. So it's interesting. So things will change, but it has to do with some kind of patience. It isn't the time yet. And it's interesting that their future card for Spain is the card of the Whiteheads. So like I've mentioned before, they are taking control, and I think we will be seeing it. But like I said, we don't know when. We have to be patient in that way and wait and see what's going on. In the meantime, we need to deal with things inside ourselves, with fears, pain, anger, all these things that are still stuck in our energy. We need to embrace them. We need to just let them be, feel them. So it's interesting. This Spain, the card reading for Spain is not just for Spain. We can look at it from just in the time that we are. This is a very, very interesting time, and we have to wait and see what's going to happen. But in the waiting, in the process of waiting, we need to do what we need to do here, and that is strengthen our connection with God, our connection with our soul. That is so important. And if you feel like we want to start something, initiate something, come out with something, maybe even do something in the politics, your region, do it. If that feels right to you, do it. But the systems will have to go, it will have to be changed. But it's very important. If you feel like you want to do something, initiate, do it. I want to look at the USA. What is the energy of the USA? Oh, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. That's a pretty good card. So apparently the financial is very important right now in America. This is the card above. That's the Four of Pentacles. This is the central card, the Nine of Swords, I mean. This is the Three of Wands. That's interesting. We have the King of Cups underneath the central card, and this is the card for the future, the Hanged Man. I'm just going to take an extra card, the Death card. So we are in a process, and it has to do with financial things. This is a Pentacle card, the Nine of Pentacles. So I do believe that USA will be in a better financial position. That's actually the energy, that it will become better. I do believe that the QFS will be rolled out. When? Again, I'm not going to name a date or when this is going to happen, but I do believe that the system is already alongside the old system, but the old system will have to go first. And you can see there's people still holding on to what they've got to. I do believe that the elite's trying to hold on. A lot of people are very fearful of what's going on. So they just kind of just hold on to what they've got, what they know. And you can see that causes a lot of stress. So right now in USA, there's so much stress, pain, emotions going on. I do believe that a lot of people are exhausted, at the end of their wits, like what is going on, where are we going? There's a lot of stress going on, a lot of sleepless nights for the people in America in general. It's about connecting. There's another influence about connecting with your feelings, with your emotions. That's very important, especially also in America, but just globally again, to really connect with our soul, with our connection with God, really start connecting with people. There are beautiful initiatives also in America where people are connecting again on a completely different level, shutting out all these big systems and these big companies, and it's very important that people continue doing that. And then the future, so to speak, is the Hanged Man and the Death card. So it will look for a little while like nothing's happening, but behind the scenes, because this is the card that's under the surface, all kinds of things are happening. But when we see it, it will come out. When, again, I'm just leaving that. Really live your life. Don't wait for it. If it happens, it happens. But then the old will leave. The Death card is about things that don't fit us anymore. Systems will fall away. It's the end of a lot of things, and that will be the new beginning. I do believe that the United States of America will be a republic again. So the entire corporation, the USA Incorporated, will fall. It's already bankrupt. It's pretty much done. But then people will see, and there will be like a completely new beginning in the USA. So I want to leave it at that, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.